Lindenwood head coach Jed Stugart. The team is coming off a loss, 42-35 against Gardner Webb. Back in action, back home. They're going to face off with Western Illinois on this weekend at home. So, Coach, some thoughts about your team, and then we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, just got to get back on the horse a little bit. Didn't have a great showing there against Gardner Webb, which actually I thought coming out of their bye week kind of warned our team that they're going to be kind of backed in a corner and they're better, much better than their record. We kind of preached that. They kind of showed that. I'm real impressed with their football team, especially how they ran the ball against us. And offensively, I thought they were very good, and we kind of told that to our team all week. Just kind of a homecoming bye week. Going to feel a little refreshed, that we've got to try to match that intensity and match that. Kind of match that a little bit, and we just didn't do a good job of that. And that's not taking anything away from them, because they were they just got us, but you can't go into a game against a quality opponent like that and not start fast, we were kind of back on our heels. So a lot of credit to Coach Chris on that. And so it's just about regrouping. We kind of said, this is that our bye week's kind of the second to last week of the season. We don't, we've got to push through some of these things and some of these little injuries and stuff. And we're going to face other teams that are going to be coming off of byes. So we've got to be prepared and ready to go. And I think it's just about bouncing back and having a good week of practice. Felt like our kids were in had a good day yesterday of just getting through it and talking through it and kind of hitting the reset button, and remind our guys that we're still kind of in that middle of the pack conference wise, that we need to kind of start from scratch and kind of go 1-0 this week. Because I'm really impressed with what Joe's doing at Western Illinois. You can see the massive improvement, the confidence they're playing with, that they're just getting more and more into watching them. It's just what a great job he's done, and our guys better pay attention of a really good football team that had a really dominating win last week, that we got to be ready for and match that. So hopefully we get back on the horse and kind of get our mindset back to preparing for an opportunity to be back here at home against a good team.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to some questions. We got Dan, who covers our Illinois schools from Prairie State Pigskin. So I think he may have one for you, or at least one.
Yeah, good to see you again, Coach.
You bet, Dan. Good to see you.
So you've played Western in the past, and you kind of commented on a few moments ago. What have you noticed, or what do you attribute that change to in Western?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, you don't really know exact. Obviously, a new staff comes in and I probably haven't spent a lot of time till this week, as we dive into this team and everything. I haven't paid as much attention to the things that have gone on in the off season for them. So to be fair, what I think, I always start with just how sound a team is offensively, defensively. Do they obviously players, the recruitment, transfers, those types of things. I know coaches pass a little bit. I respect him a lot. I know for a fact he's the type of coach kids love to play for. I think that's the type of coach he is. I really respect, and I think that has a lot to do with motivating a team, and when you have that a coach that kids love to play for, I think that's huge. But I think just seeing the quarterback's very good. I think anytime at the end of the day, a team is going to, kind of live and die by their quarterback. I think that's just the reality. Is that position is so key, and I was real impressed with what I'm seeing out of him last week too. It's done a good job of, like I said, organization. I think scheme, how sound they are, and then they've got a coach and a staff that I think kids are really rallying for right now. I think that's a lot to do with it.
I got one more for you as a follow-up. They've run the ball much more effectively than they have the past couple of years. What do you see from their run game from what you've seen in tape so far?
Well, like you said, you know, a lot of times that sets up a lot of you know, a good run game can really you know, really set up a lot of other things, you know, and to be fair, I haven't um you know, still kind of watching a lot of that because I kind of watch both sides a lot during the day. I'll flip back and forth between O and D and just kind of get a feel for the team. But I think, you know, that's, you know, I think every offense wants to be sound and be very effective in their run game because it opens so much up. And I think that's the part where, you know, when you see uh, you know, a physical offensive line, a physical running back, those types of things, you know, you've got to match that. I think that's what hurt us last week because, you know, we didn't match that up front. And I think, you know, we get another chance because, like you said, you can see that that's been very effective for them, and they're very sound in that. So, you know, you being a defensive guy myself through my career, you know, you've never it's demoralizing when people run the ball on you. You know, I think that's the thing you've got to make sure you stop first. You don't want to, you know, you want to be able to try to get offenses and longer third downs and things like that. And so it'll be a good challenge for us. We've played pretty well against the run in some of our games, and last week we didn't do as well. So it'll be a good test for us to see how we bounce back this week.
I'd also like to ask you about your team. Just where do you feel like your team's at this point of the season?
Well, I think they're, you know, I think they're more frustrated. I don't feel like we're demoralized. I think, you know, I really liked our walkthrough and time yesterday. I feel like our guys are quick about turning the page and learning. You know, I think there's some humility that came into last week, you know, especially defensively. We've been playing very good defense the last few weeks, and then to have kind of a game where we probably struggled. We didn't execute very well defensively. A lot of you know, I'd say discipline issues, eye violations, those types of things. And I think it made our players recognize, hey, when we go back to our basics and fundamentals, we can be pretty good. So I feel, like I said, you know, we're sitting in the middle of the pack in our conference right now. We're 2-2 with 4 games to go, and you know, and everybody ahead of us, we get to play. So they're great opportunities for our players week in and each week now. You know, and you know, once they see the schedule and where people are at, and that's what we want to, our goal is to try to have a chance at the end. And right now with where we're sitting record wise, a lot of that, there's some potential out there to still achieve a goal. So we've got a lot to play for. I think the kids see that, that there's, you know, it's all about the next one, you know, and you know, once we got through the the preseason in our non-conference games, we kind of burned that schedule and said, okay, we want to see where we're at in this conference, and we're 2-2 right now with a lot of positives, and we've learned some valuable lessons that we're going to try to move on to, and we're still sitting in a pretty good spot, I think.
Thank you.
You betcha. Thanks, Dan.
You talked about the Gardner Webb rushing too. You all rushed for 213 yards too. Again, kind of spread it out. Just what were your thoughts on your rushing attack?
Well, I think, you know, as a team, you know, you know, I think everybody, you know, I told our guys that we're, you know, each phase of our team, offense, defense, special teams, okay, we've all had a week where we were humbled. Like, you know, we've put 1 game or 2 games together where we played all 3 phases and it turned out really well. And this week, our offense did a great job. I mean, 35 points should win you games. And, you know, I think the way we're running the football right now, we've got a very good, solid backfield, that a quality depth. I mean, we've got a 3-headed group back there that can just keep rotating, and each one of those backs can, you know, could be starters, could be the featured guy. And that gives us, number one, being healthy in that position. And, you know, I think offensively, that's one thing that we've been really consistent on is establishing our run game, and we're going to continue to do that. You know, we've got hopefully get some guys back. You know, everybody, not just us, everybody's dinged up this time of the year, but you got to try in those certain areas where you've got to get your quality, you know, your guys back. You know, hopefully we get some of that back this week. And but yeah, I'm really impressed with how, you know, because we've made it it's something our guys have really wanted to be passionate about this year, wanted to really establish, and I think we're doing a pretty good job doing that. We ran the ball really well Saturday. That's what was kind of frustrating about this game. is we were in a position to win, and we need to shore that stuff up defensively.
Last one, and you talked about um, this a little bit in your opening statement, but I mean, the third quarter was sort of the difference maker where you fell behind, but then you never gave up. You did make it, even though it was late in the game, you made it 7 points. So just talk about that, not giving up kind of mentality down the stretch.
Well, I think in this answer, like to Dan's point about how do you feel about our team, here's the one thing that's highly encouraging. I told our guys this, they don't ever quit, and they don't stop fighting. I mean, we had a chance, we had a chance for onside kick there at the end to try to have a chance to put us in a position to have a chance to maybe tie the game, so they being down 2 touchdowns with not much time left, they stopped us on a 4th down. We were able to answer and stop them on a 4th down, and then we go down and score with a chance at an onside kick. And I know there's could be tempting to just kind of feel like that game's out of hand and kids could just give up and just try to get the game over with. But, when you have a foundation of kids that won't quit and they still are going to fight till the end, then that's a really good thing. Now you got to chip away at the things that are, that are holding us back a little bit. And that's what we're focused on, because it's been established through even some of our comeback wins and things like that. These guys, I love this team. They don't quit. And I really admire them for that and respect them for that. We just got to fix some of the little things that's kind of hurting us right now. And that's what we're going to focus on this week.
Coach, appreciate your time as always. Talk to you again next week. Best of luck.
See y'all. Have a great day. See you.